Good morning and welcome to our first class of Outthink, Outsell, and Outclass your competition. This seminar was developed for those of us who find ourselves in a position of looking for a job, trying to promote ourselves, looking for career advancement and opportunities. And this is actually going to be an interactive class. The first part, we're going to be doing a presentation, and then the second part, you're going to actually be doing some skills practice. I'm Meagan Palmer, and I work right now with Employee Learning Services, and I have enlisted the assistance of my sister. Lauren, would you please tell a little bit about yourself?
My name is Lauren Smith, and I am a graduate of the Protocol School of Washington in D.C. I do seminars in business etiquette and table manners.
And she's going to be helping today. So the job search timeline, I'm not going to even ask who in here is going to be looking for a job, but I am going to give you a reality check. You can expect to spend 8 to 23 weeks looking for a job on average before landing one. And that's a long time. And one thing that you need to be aware of is that it's important to treat that time as your job. You need to be spending at least 20 hours a week actually searching for a job, researching, making contacts. It's important that you get up in the morning, shower as if you were going to go to work. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in a slump, and it's going to be really difficult to get motivated. If you look at the handout you have on your desk, on your table, it's not the actual PowerPoint, but it does have some little blobs or squares that you can actually write some notes in. So 8 to 23 weeks it's going to take you to look for a job on average. You need to spend about 20 hours a week searching for a job, and then it's really important to build a network support system because it can be very emotional. It can be challenging, it's anxiety-provoking, so it's important that you find some support somewhere. So, your steps to a job search. First of all, you need to do a self-assessment. And right now, if you are looking for a job, it's a good time to really take a look at what your experiences have been. So, you want to look at all kinds of things with your self-assessment and also including some of your social goals, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. You want to have an employment objective. And when we talk about resume, you want to be really clear and focused on what is it that you want out of a career. If your employment objective is just to get a job, that's a lot different than saying my employment objective is to get a job that I plan to retire in and live, have a comfortable retirement. That's going to make your job search look differently. You have to have a resume and cover letter, or at least be prepared. Cover letters sometimes are optional, but we will talk briefly about resume. You need to have a job search strategy. So it's like having a blueprint. What are you going to do? What are the steps? Instead of just getting up in the morning, looking at the paper here, Googling here, what kind of action plan are you going to have? Then, hopefully, you'll land an interview, or several. And so after that, after having this course, I'm sure that you'll be getting a job offer. And be prepared to assess that job offer. Is it going to meet your needs? So your self-assessment. What do you need to take a look at? First of all, what are your work experiences? For example, I started out in Child Protective Services, social worker by training. And then I went on into community social work, which is a different type of social work. It's organizing large groups. Then on to organizational development, which is a totally different field, and now training. So I'm looking at the stages of my career and what I have to offer. So that's one thing that you need to look at. The other is, what are your personal goals? For me, flexibility with my schedule is very important. I have a family. So I'm probably not going to want a job that is structured so much from 8 to 5, 8 to 6. I want to have that flexibility. So you need to look at that as well. Also, your volunteer, your community service, anything else that you've done outside of the job. What is that? What can that bring? to a potential employment opportunity. And then also what special skills or talents you have. And believe it or not, I mean, that could be something that really sets you apart. The more prepared you are when you go into an interview, thinking through these things, the more confident you're going to be. So your job search strategy. The first step you need to do is figure out where you want to work. What type of industry do you want to be in? Make a list. You know, do your research. You can Google, see which businesses are coming to Charlotte. There's 3 or 4 that are coming in the next couple of years, some large corporations. So you want to set that up. You know, write it out. Also, what are your contacts? The people that you know outside of the county. Could be from a community group. It could be from your place of worship. Who are the people you know, because you need to start networking. And then you need to contact them. Oftentimes we think, well, I know this person, I know that person, but I don't think I want to contact them. It's not a time to be shy. They may want to know. They may have an opportunity. You may have something that they want. So you need to contact them. So once you decide where you think you want to work, you're making your network contacts, then you want to begin building your resume. Professional image online. Question for you. 20 years ago, we didn't have to worry about professional image online, but we do now. Why do you think we should worry about what's going on out there in cyberspace?
Everybody can see it.
What's that?
Everybody can see it.
Everybody can see it?
And employers are Googling people.
Exactly. The more savvy ones are going to Google. And if you have something on there that could embarrass you, you want to take it off. If your friends post old pictures of you in college, you want to try to get those off. I went into Facebook yesterday, and I thought I had all the privacy settings set, but I didn't. So I would encourage you to any of those social networks that you go in, and you make sure that it's private. And you might want to let your kids know this too, because I have some younger relatives that they really need to take a look at what they're putting on there. The other thing you want to consider is your use of credentials. You want to be very consistent in your credentials. Some of you have an LN, MSW, and it goes on and on. But you do want to be consistent. You want to use a professional name, and certainly one that might stand out. If your name is John Smith, you may want to consider putting a middle initial in there. The other thing with your email address, there are a lot of cute email addresses. Is it professional? You want to be very careful if it's like, trying to think of one that's not, does anyone know of one that they've seen that's kind of silly?
Well, Vampire Girl.
Yeah, Vampire Girl. That's not too cool. So you want to be aware of that. The other thing Lauren and I were talking about coming in to work today was texting and emailing. You need to be very careful when you hit the send button that, one, it's going to the right person, and what was the other thing? That it's not...
You don't hit reply all instead of reply?
Yes, yes, because what could happen is potential employees could be emailing you or texting you these days. And like Lauren thought she was texting her husband, and it was not. So you want to be really careful with that. Okay, now your resume. We're not going to do too much with resume. This is my experience, and I understand that Joe's wife has a lot of experience, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Jacob's Ladder later. It's another organization that can be helpful. But I would suggest that it not be longer than 2 pages.